Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Afshin Babar and you are watching my channel. And today we are going to talk about that IELTS. That's the third video of our series. In that IELTS we have mostly of the issue that how can we score 9 pens or 40 out of 40 in listenings. This video is about the listening content. In that IELTS we have the mostly problems having with listening issues. Because there are some of the problems, some of the issues we have which are related to our memory. Sometimes we have lack of practice, sometimes we have the different kind of issue. So my video topic is today, how can we score 9 out of 9 or 40 out of 40. What problems exactly we face? My first question is, there are 4 kinds of problems we face. Number 1, like we are the non-native speakers, especially the Pakistanis, Indians and the Asians, or the people who are having English as a second language. They are the non-native speakers. The non-native speakers do not get the accent properly of a British accent, because this test has already been talked about in my previous video. This test is built by the Cambridge University. So Cambridge University, it means that they all have the British accent. In that listing, for example, we have the word of power cut. And what does she say? She say power cuts. So when we listen that power cut, we are not familiar to these words. So for that, the first problem we face, that is about our being non-native speakers. First, I would like to identify all the problems, and then later on we will go for that all the solutions of all those things. Next, the problem we have is not engrossed with the language. Definitely we are not engrossed with the language. We do not know what kind of vocabularies do they use, what kind of short forms do they use, because we watch most of the time English movies which are American, which are done in the Bollywood, and we do not know. We just get that all sounds from that American languages. But in British they have a different kind of sound, different kind of short, like that's exactly the pronunciation of water, which we talk about in Pakistan, in India, in Asian countries we talk about t proper and r proper, and they talk about half h instead of er. So these kind of, we are not engrossed with the languages, are also the problems, and we need to practice that language as well. The third thing we face in not getting 40 out of 40 in the listening module is we lose our concentration, or we lose our legs. While we are listening, as I have already told you, while we are listening, during the listening we have to write down the answers in the answer sheet. But if we miss, so why do we miss that? The first problem is lack of concentration. Our cell phones are the basic issues we have. The first issue, we are not having the call, or the second issue, we are having the calls. So the both things are making us concentration very diverted. What we need to go for, we'll go for the solutions as well, and in the solution I would like to tell you that how can we get that all rid of this concentration issues. The third thing we have is spelling mistakes. In spelling mistakes, we do not know, we are very habitual of typing. So autocorrection is one of the reasons that in typing we have in our cell phones, or you, instead of writing only you are writing only r instead of are, writing only me instead of my, or only I am, writing only m for m. So these are the common issues of the spelling, and exactly with the different vocabularies as well. So you need to go with the solutions as well. So before I start with the solution, I just want you to go through that all 4 problems we have. Number 1 problem is like we are not native speakers. Number 2, not engrossed with the proper vocabulary or proper language. Number 3, losing our blanks and losing our concentration. And number 4, spelling mistakes. These are the 4 issues we have, on which basis we have our listening issues, and we do not touch the 9 out of 9 pens or 40 out of 40. But we can. Let's go for the solution. Okay, let's start with the solution. The first problem of that we have talked about it was all about like we are not native speakers. So for that we need to practice a lot. If we practice a lot our listening skills, we are going to have that good scores. Number one, there are some of these strategies. I would definitely tell you that that would be very helpful for you. Number one, like if you have the material, you must have the material, otherwise you can check my website avservices.com and .pk, then you would find out the all materials of IELTS there as well. Once you are having that material of audio, how can you do this? Have 3 answer sheets with you with the same audio. First, fill out the answer and do not check the answers. Second, listen the audio again and fill out the answers. Do not check the answers again. In third time, listen the audio again and this time you are going to check the answer. What most probably you are going to have in after all these. If you have all 3 right answers, for example, question number 1, of all 3 answer sheets are right, then don't need to worry about anything. It means that you are going to have that good practice and keep practicing. But if the answer is different, like if you have 2 time wrongs, number 1 sheet is wrong, answer number 1, sheet number 1 wrong, answer number 1, sheet number 1, answer sheet number 2 wrong, answer number 1, sheet number 3 right. So it means that's completely a fluke. जिसे हम तुक्का कहते हैं. That is literally a fluke. How it will be? Because if you are about to listen it correctly, it means that in third time you have just by chance listen it the word and you have just written it. It means you need to work a lot. You need to listen and you need to work on your language. You need to work on your listening skills again. Number 3, if you have first 2 right and third one is wrong, for example, question number 1, 1 and 1 of all 3 sheets, 2 times you have make it right, third time you have make it wrong. So it means you have lack of concentration. Identify your own problem. Lack of concentration, like if you can make it right for 2 times, definitely you can write for 3 times as well. But at that time you missed it, maybe you thought about something, maybe something came in your mind and you skipped. So that means that you need to work on your concentration. You need to practice living without cell phone for at least 3 hours a day. So in your with your cell phone, if you are living with your cell phone, definitely we all are having it. So that is the main cause of concentration and lack of concentration as well. So what you need to go for, you need to leave your cell phone for 3 hours a day. You have to make it practice. And number last, if your all 3 are wrong, it means you did not get the language. You have to work on the language skill. You have to work on vocabulary. You have to work on grammar as well. So you have to first maintain your language skill, then come to the IELTS course. I would definitely recommend before attempting to the IELTS, first check it out yourself that are you ready to prepare the IELTS or not. And if you are not ready to prepare the IELTS, first go for the basic course of English and then come to the IELTS course. It would be good for you and it would be quite helpful for you. Next we would move forward for what problems, like if you identify your problems but you still are not getting, you still are having lack of confidence, maybe lack of concentration, or maybe you are leaving some of these, skipping the words, especially about the conversation. So don't worry about it, because look at, listening is the revertible process. If you are listening a passage, question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after 6 it will repeat the information. I guarantee you, in IELTS there is revertible. You will definitely listen that information again. Audio will not be played again, but how will it be? It is going to have, again the information would be in the conversation or during the conversation. Now we would go for that how we are going to have that spelling check. In spell, if you have the problems with the spell, only writing spelling can make you out of it. Whatever spelling you learn, whatever spelling you want to go for, whatever spelling you listen, your vocabulary you want to improve, you have to write it down. Keep writing and keep writing. Only writing spelling is the solution of this spelling. Otherwise, no one can get you out. The people say we have learned it by heart, we can do it. No, it would be difficult. Until and unless you have practice of listening, writing of vocabulary, you will not be getting that proper listening vocabulary as well. Then we will talk about that how it goes on. There are different kind of tests in audio listening. Fine. Number one is there is a conversation between two people. First passage could be, there would be three passages there. First passage would be conversation between two people. It would be quite easier for you. And you are going to have that conversation. You are going to listen and you are going to write it down during that list. Second part is about the monologue. A person is going to talk alone. How will it going to talk alone? He is going to give any of the information. How will it give the information? They are going to talk about anything informative or any questionnaire would be given there with that information. And you have to write down during listening, especially for the dates, especially for that years. And in the monologue, when the second part is there, second passage, they talk about that dates more. They talk about that listening. They talk about their years and the timings. They talk about that. And number three is that MCQs part. How would that MCQs part be? MCQs part would be like you have to answer and you have to attend that question. Alright, number three would be the MCQs part, and in that MCQs part you have to concentrate on the keyword. How would it be? The keyword would be in questionnaire. Do not listen to the passage first. Firstly, read the question, underline the keyword. For example, they are going to talk about, I would have some fishes today in that dinner. So your concentration, your some fishes is your keyword. So you have to go for the similar synonym or maybe that another way or the same word of these some fishes in that answer sheet. So this is the keyword and you have to find out in the MCQs, and if you follow these instructions you are going to have 40 out of 40 inshallah, and you would definitely score 9 out of 9. The third, I would like to go for the third part. How will it be? The third part, it would be the map. How will you make it the map? Make it east, west, north and south. East, west. The third part would be make it east, west, north and south. You have to make the direction in the side of your answer sheet and keep moving your pencil according to that. First they say turn right, then right, go east, go west, go north, because the third part is all about mapping and the third part is all about finding the correct location. So you, until and unless you would not get that good answers. So if you want to have the good answers, you have to go with that directions and make that direction key on your answer sheet. I think I have covered all the three parts. And one thing is more I would like to tell you. What is the level of difficulty they have that in the listening course? Listening course is starting with an easier one. First passage is about that conversation between the commodities or the common social issues and two people are talking about it is easier to get. So once you are getting into it, it is easier and your energy level is also high and you are very much attentive to attempt that. Then in second passage what happens, like your energy level gets little down and that gets little difficult because that's an informative and all years and dates are approx similar and same and it would be difficult for you to get it. And third part is all about that mapping. It is the most difficult part because 3 or 4 people are involved in that. The conversation between 3 and 4 people would be there. You are going to listen 3 or 4 names, 3 or 4 different voices, or maybe they are not different, they are very similar to each other, but you have to get that how you are going to have. So, but your energy level gets the very lowest one because you have started with the good energy. You have to revert back to your energy. You have to bring it back. You have to make yourself, you have to take yourself with that smooth. Do not go with the very much energetic and a very early, then you would get so exhausted till that 40th question. Take yourself very much smoothly, take it very relaxed and very calm till the end of the question. And if you follow all these instructions, you would get inshallah 9 out of 9 and 40 out of 40. I wish that I have covered all the things regarding the listening, and you are going to have the good listening. And for the listening course, you may contact me as well, and for the IELTS training as well, you may contact me. For today, thank you very much. Allah.